Imagine harnessing the power of a single book chapter to dramatically alter your perception of self, the world, and your divine connection. Today we plunge headfirst into such a chapter from The Journey Begins Within by SAVI. This isn't your average chapter, oh no. It's an immersive experience, a catalyst for transformation, a key to a door you've always wanted to open. This chapter has the potential to challenge your existing beliefs and inspire new ones. It's like a mirror that reflects not just your physical image, but the essence of your spirit, the depth of your soul. It's a tunnel leading to a new understanding, an exploration of the depth of your being, and an invitation to a profound relationship with the divine. The upcoming chapter is not just words on a page, it's a journey that begins within you. A journey that could lead to the unearthing of your true self. A journey that could change how you perceive the world around you and your place within it. But remember, this is just the beginning. The full journey awaits in the entirety of the book. If you find yourself moved, stirred by the upcoming chapter, we extend an invitation to continue this exploration, to dive deeper into the hidden depths within you. If the content moves you, we invite you to embark on your journey by purchasing a copy of the book at Amazon, Kindle, or iBook today. It's more than a purchase, it's a step towards self-discovery, self-realization, and self-transformation. Stay tuned to hear the complete chapter next as a free book preview. Dive deeper into your exploration and uncover the hidden depths within. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring. The journey begins within. Enjoy.
Embracing the divine, an exploration into the emotional healing of others. For the longest time, I wanted to have the opportunity to travel to Europe, like what my grandfather, Oscar, once did. Rent a car and drive through each country to experience the cultures and the people. Get in touch with other aspects of life besides the mere monotonous, everyday existence. Depending on what kind of individual you are, you can think of my life as a glass that is half empty or half full. The truth, as I explained, is truly subjective. I had millions, and I had nothing, and frankly, I consider myself extremely lucky and blessed through each one of these cycles of creation and destruction. When I take inventory, I lived a life full of experiences that have been more than the life of an average individual. Each stage gets shorter and shorter as I detach and grow in my conscious awareness and allow the divine to commune with me in my everyday life. It was the beginning of 2023 when I met my new girlfriend, and we decided to take an open-ended trip through Europe, a lifelong dream of mine. We drove over 6,500 kilometers and visited 130 cities in France, where half of my family is descended from, while the other half is of Spanish and Italian descent. We were then invited to the most beautiful wedding I had ever attended, hosted in Greece by two of our dear soul family friends. While in Greece, we let loose and enjoyed the food and drinks, though still no animal flesh for me, as my body no longer allows it. People often ask me when the last time I ate meat was, and that was 6 months after the beginning of my awakening at a barbecue parrillada my brother hosted at his house in Argentina. I vividly remember it. My brother went all out and bought the best meat available, which everyone else deemed delicious but me. My taste buds were thus clean by then, and I could smell the rot in the flesh and feel the dead energy in the meat. I was only able to have a few bites before my stomach started to protest, and excruciating spasms ensued, making it impossible for me to eat anymore. These days, when I want to indulge, I enjoy various types of cheese, eggs in the form of pastries or desserts, and bread with wine. Who in their right mind would say no to French patisseries? But even these foods temporarily disconnect me from my heightened conscious awareness. Henceforth, I only indulge in cultural exploration for brief periods lasting less than a few days. I bring these details up for several reasons. My book will provoke many readers to judge and criticize my persona, which is expected but unfair. Some will brush off my anecdotes as a defense mechanism to avoid feeling inadequate or confronting their existence. Others will immediately start looking for ways to discredit me, which is also all right. I do not fear criticism or judgment. After all, nobody can destroy who I've become. I have nothing to hide, and my transparency is unwavering. I am quick to admit all my flaws, inadequacies, and failures. I do not conform to the world's rules anymore, and if you have yet to notice, I only answer to a higher law than the ones we are force-fed. I want to be clear, I am an imperfect human. If there is one claim to fame, I accept that it's being recognized as a truth seeker. In my relentless quest to discover the ultimate truths, I realized that all truth is subjective, as it is observed through the senses, which filter over 80% of the information, if not more, considering the observer's emotional state. But as I delved deeper, I discovered the divine as the sole, absolute truth behind the tapestry of reality. Returning to Greece, after an amazing 4 weeks traveling through France and an enjoyable first week in Greece with friends, we knew it was time to slow down and detox. I can only immerse myself so much in worldly activities before feeling the need to reconnect with nature and return to more natural eating habits, such as fasting and consuming raw fruits and vegetables. Thus, we briefly retreated to Vzine Resort in Cephalonia, Ionian Islands in Greece. This week, I asked my girlfriend for some solitude, dedicating my time to introspection through morning meditations and contemplation amidst some of the most beautiful pine trees. The turquoise translucent waters of the Ionian Sea are unique. Greek culture is fantastic. People understand what is essential in life beyond materialism. During one of these days at the resort, after mainly eating fruit, I noticed the presence of an extraordinary soul. Allow me to digress here for a minute so you can understand the points I will be making shortly. First, it is never me doing anything related to the emotional healing of others. The only thing I do is get out of the way of the spirit. This means I empty myself of all my identity and thoughts. I sit still and allow whatever words or energy come through me to take over. If that makes sense, it is almost like I'm a passenger in my body. I was overlooking the beautiful ocean in the open-air gym at the resort, walking on the treadmill surrounded by other people, including many beautiful women. But I couldn't care less about the activities around me, and I mentioned this because of what would happen. You must understand my frame of mind, otherwise you may misconstrue the point. As I was taken by the beauty of the surroundings in view, I felt a presence, and there was this charming younger woman in her mid-30s walking amidst the garden toward the gym. Generally, I am extra cautious when it comes to spiritual guidance, and I have made a deal with our Heavenly Father. I will act once I am provided with physical presential evidence that I am being called to the stage. Soon, you will know the meaning of one of the embossed symbols in this book, which I have kept secret from you thus far. As this presence caught my attention and made me notice the soul walking past me, I said, "If there is something I need to do here, it will be shown to me." I lowered my gaze and kept exercising. The day went normal. My girlfriend was taking her classes, and I decided to go down to town by the mountainside and explore the ocean to reconnect with nature. That afternoon I went to buy some more fruit, and as I was coming into the resort, out of the blue, this young lady I mentioned earlier literally jumped in front of me in the garden trail out of nowhere. Again, I felt the presence of her soul, and I said to myself once again the same thing as in that prior morning at the gym, lowering my gaze and minding my own. Generally, I am not the kind to go to group meditation sessions. However, I resolved that year that although I had been shown the divine already, I would allow myself to explore everything others did to relate better. I decided that on September 8th, I would like to sign up for a meditation class at 7 p.m. As I arrived, I met the same woman who I had twice encountered that day and not spoken to as the instructor. I giggled, smiled, and introduced myself, to which she told me, "Nice to meet you. Everyone else canceled, so I guess I am spending my birthday with you." I immediately felt bad for her, since I have spent many of my birthdays alone or in suboptimal occasions. In particular, my 50th birthday was probably one of the very worst days of my life till now, as I received the physical verification that I needed to renounce to my prior life emotional attachments, and that I had been living in illusion till that very day. So, being the empath that I am, I suggested canceling as well, to which she disagreed, as she had no other plans than to spend that night alone with her cat at home. Given that I had already felt her soul presence, I knew that spirit was cooking something, but I did not want to jump to any conclusions. I told her, "I may have a birthday present for you, but I need a sign." She looked at me funny and asked me what I was talking about, to which I quickly answered, "Never mind what I said." Spirit had something planned for her and me that I will never forget, primarily because September 8th is also the birthday of my oldest stepdaughter, whom I adopted as my own, albeit the mother taking them away from me. My daughter once told me when she was little, "You are a miracle in my life." But that is another story amongst the many that I will keep for myself. Back that night, during the meditation class, this woman spoke about self-love and unconditional love. I gnostically know this lesson, I was smiling with my eyes closed when I connected with the ethereal, and I said to Spirit, "Listen, I am not being of service until you show yourself to me and give me a clear sign that you want to use me. This woman knows my girlfriend, and I am not acting weird here unless you want me to." Little had prepared me for what happened next. I immediately asked for a sign and my secret call to the stage code, and I waced there. As I like to call it, "You are not imagining any of this," showed up with a repeating bang. As I kept hearing what seemed to me like a loud knocking by my side, I was forced to open my eyes and draw my attention to a dragonfly, my spirit animal, knocking against the window from the inside, right on top of the head of the instructor. I once again giggled, and the minute I was aware of the dragonfly, it stopped, flipping its wings in place. The instructor finished the meditation at 8 p.m. on September 8th. There is also a hidden meaning behind the number 8 for those who know you will understand. I approached her and said, "I got my sign. Could we speak some more?" I emptied myself to create the space between us for open heart sharing and allow spirit to take over. If you recall reading prior chapters, our souls are like tuning forks. Once we attain a higher frequency in our awareness, we are constantly capable of resonating at these frequencies. And if we keep a clean temple, the spirit does the rest for us. We just be ourselves, and everything happens around us for us. In this case, I remember sharing my lessons of self-love and unconditional love as a means for her healing, which she was, in a way, going through the same lessons in her soul's journey. At one point in our conversation, my girlfriend showed up to pick me up, and we all three walked under the beautiful night sky littered with billions of stars. We all proceeded then to call it a night and did not think much of it. Nothing could have prepared me for what happened the following day. My girlfriend and I attended another stretching class in the garden, and there she was, the same lady from the day before acting as the instructor. By then, I was connected, having just finished my morning meditation under some of my favorite pine trees overlooking the turquoise ocean. If I were to choose my idea of heaven for the first few weeks, I would replicate the shoreline of the Ionian Sea. She approached me and told me that the words I had spoken the previous night had moved her profoundly, so much so that she began her emotional healing and journey to self-love. Again, due to confidentiality, I will never openly share personal details of the events. Frankly, they are not the point. We are all here to help each other and be of service if we allow ourselves the opportunity instead of solely focusing on what I like to call the little me, our egos. I assumed that was that, and we proceeded with the class. As we were saying our goodbyes, the instructor started asking about my experiences in Iquitos, Peru, with the Shipibo shamans. While sharing my experiences, I found myself genuinely gazing into her eyes. Not many can withstand my penetrating stare. To me, eyes are the doorway to the soul, and sometimes I can see auras or even past lives if I concentrate long enough. But this time, something completely unexpected occurred, an event that I'd never experienced before or since. As I gazed into this woman's soul, I had an instantaneous out-of-body supernatural experience. My consciousness connected to the universe's core, where the divine resides. There I felt the presence of the divine, and within milliseconds, I was returned to the 3D simulation, in a journey long enough for me to be aware of the unfolding magic and that I was simply along for the ride. As a faithful servant, my only role was to remain empty and not interfere with the healing process. Back in reality, I felt the same energy in my chest as during the demon encounter or that January morning at the airport hotel. Just as my chest felt ready to burst, a wave of energy left me and moved towards her. The second the energy hit her, this woman's eyes shook side to side, her body trembled, and she gasped for air. We stood still. She looked at me, puzzled by what had happened, and said, "You felt me." I don't like drawing attention to myself, hence I downplayed the entire event, unsure of what had precisely occurred since it was the first time that spirit had acted in such a way through me. I didn't know what to say. I responded, "Yeah, I felt something myself," she replied. "I don't know when and where, but I'm sure we'll meet again." To my surprise, 2 weeks later, my girlfriend received a text message from her. She said meeting both of us was the best birthday gift the universe had ever given her, and that she had discovered self-love within herself. At that moment, I understood that spirit had used my soul again as a tuning fork to attune this lady's soul. I had already learned this lesson in the simulation, and she was also ready to master that level by an act of grace. That same day, around midday, I looked for my girlfriend, right after another gym class she had attended. She conversed with another instructor as I approached and was also working with her spiritual magic. I was, as I described it, running high in awareness. When I approached them, my girlfriend introduced me. Unexpectedly, Spirit delivered a message to this other woman, who promptly began to sob and explain that she felt something in her chest. I held her hand and reassured her while delivering the message. By the end of that day, my selflessness allowed me to help two sisters ascend to the next level in their journeys. Nothing is more rewarding than knowing I made a positive impact, especially when the Spirit chooses me to facilitate emotional healing. The days went by uneventfully until the following week. One of my dreams has always been to buy a sailboat or catamaran and travel worldwide for a few years. We had chartered a catamaran for a journey through Zakynthos, also in the Ionian Sea, showcasing some of the most breathtaking scenery I've ever encountered. During my week-long trip, I continued to immerse myself in nature and feed on only raw, fresh produce and fruits, complemented by a bit of sweet Greek wine, local honey, and Italian espresso. You could say I was in heaven, and as it turned out, I was about to experience a divine gift that is still hard to comprehend. On the sixth day, in the middle of the ocean between two Ionian islands, I felt the presence of Spirit again, but this time it was profoundly different. A dragonfly appeared out of nowhere, a rarity, considering none had been seen during the trip, and we were in the ocean. My girlfriend sitting by my side also noticed it, just in case you think I imagine things. A side note for those who do not know, the dragonfly has deep spiritual meaning and symbolism across many cultures. It symbolizes transformation, self-realization, and spiritual growth. As a creature that undergoes a dramatic metamorphosis from an aquatic nymph to a flying adult, the dragonfly represents the ability to embrace changes and gain wisdom from facing challenges. In many cultures, the dragonfly is seen as a link between the earthly and spiritual realms, encouraging an exploration of the deeper aspects of one's existence and spiritual journey. The dragonfly's iridescent wings are also associated with shedding illusions and gaining clarity of vision. Dragonflies are considered a good omen, symbolizing positive changes, visits from spirits, opportunity, and self-realization. They are revered in Native American cultures for their transformative, healing, and protective qualities. The dragonfly is a powerful spiritual symbol representing transformation, self-discovery, living in the present moment, and connecting to the divine. How appropriate is it that Spirit has chosen this animal to show me when I am in its presence to ensure I do not doubt what is happening? I have had many such occasions in the past few years, but I will tell you only a few. Let me express that the number 8 represents abundance, prosperity, balance, harmony, and infinite potential in numerology. 8 is associated with new beginnings, transformation, and going beyond the natural order. It symbolizes the divine, the supernatural, and transcending limitations. In the Bible, the number 8 is connected to salvation, resurrection, and God's intervention. It represents a fresh start and deliverance. Seeing the number 8 or 888 is a sign from angels to have faith, manifest abundance, and empower others. It encourages bold choices and aligning with one's true purpose. Spiritually, the number 8 signifies moving from perfection, achievable through natural means, represented by the number 7, to a higher, supernatural state of being. In summary, the number 8 holds deep spiritual significance across many traditions, representing themes of transformation, abundance, divine connection, and transcendence of limitations. I had my fair share of encounters with the number 7 and later 8. Remember, the encounter with the divine in the hotel was on January 8, 2023. As the dragonfly flew over me for a few minutes, my consciousness elevated to an unprecedented peak. In what felt like an eternity, I was experiencing unity with all of creation. It was as though the veil of reality had lifted, and my amnesia was temporarily cured. I remembered who I was and my purpose on earth. I recognized that my core being was not human. My essence was a fragment of the divine. Consequently, everything around me was indeed an extension of me. The entire kingdom was me. I had crossed the threshold of the kingdom of heaven on earth for the first time in this lifetime. While fully conscious, I experienced the Christ within me. I understood beyond a doubt that the Heavenly Father and I were one in a Gnostic sense. Over 200 days have passed since that event, and until the writing of this passage. These encounters have been the catalyst that led me to change the course of my life. I can't, in clear conscience, withhold this journey from others who might be prepared to experience a higher version of themselves. I understand you are comfortable where you are today because it's familiar. But wouldn't you dare confront the unknown and accept discomfort to truly experience communion with the Spirit through your higher self? Imagine what you may be missing and awaiting to become. If the content moves you, we invite you to embark on your journey by purchasing a copy of the book at Amazon, Kindle, or iBook today. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring. The journey begins within. Click like and subscribe for additional details. See the video description.